Can I catch you after class for a minute?
Yes.
Thanks. You ready?
Thank you.
Okay. So, Master Shantideva has this few little things he gets into here, which I'll go through quickly as it's getting late. One is he says, look, go out and develop attachment and hatred. Because I want you to go out. Master Shantideva says, I want you to go out and develop attachment and hatred in the guy. So then people like, and what he's saying is it's not a mental affliction to have attachment to loving people. It's not a mental affliction to have attachment to becoming enlightened. It's not a mental affliction to hate your negativities, your mental afflictions, right? He's saying you should have this intense dislike for and hatred for your negativities and mental afflictions. You should want to destroy them. You should want to wipe them out. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not an afflicted mind state. That's completely good. He says, take joy in being pissed off at your mental afflictions. Take joy in wanting. He says, get angry at your jealousy. Take joy in going after your jealousy. And then he gets into this long part of the text where he talks about you can beat your mental afflictions, in that they're not like some enemy where you defeat them, and like Iraq or something, I suppose, where you defeat them, or Afghanistan, whatever. Either, you defeat them and they go and they retreat to some safe haven and they regroup and they rearm and they come back and attack you later, right? The mental afflictions aren't like that. He said, where are they going to retreat to? And so he goes into this thing in the text about, where do the mental afflictions stay? Are the mental afflictions residing somewhere in the outer world? Like, is the nasty person, does anger reside in the nasty person? And so the nasty person is giving you the anger. I meet the nasty boss just because it's late and I can't think creatively. And the anger resides within him is one possibility, right? But if that were true, anyone who met him would have to see his anger because it's residing with him. So obviously anger doesn't reside within the outer object, right? He says, well, the other possibility is the anger resides within you, your mind and your mind stream. And if you kick out the mental afflictions and drive out the mental afflictions and destroy the mental afflictions within your own mind and within yourself, they're not there anymore. And it's not like they're going to retreat. It's not like they're going to leave your mind and go somewhere else and wait and then come back. If you have eliminated a mental affliction from your mind, it's done forever. It's gone. And because he says, where do mental afflictions come from? Ignorance. Right? And he says, they come from the tendency to see things as self-existent. Right? If we didn't see things as self-existent, we wouldn't have afflictions. So, focusing on the world in this incorrect way, seeing things as self-existent, is the root of these 20 mental afflictions, the main 6, and the 84,000 others. Right? And because of that, Master Shantideva says it's possible to wipe out mental afflictions permanently. And once you cut them off, and once you cut their root from your mind, you don't have to worry about them coming back. And destroying them from the root is understanding emptiness, right? Understanding emptiness and perceiving emptiness. So if we understand emptiness sufficiently, we can destroy them to a point where they will not exist anymore and they will not come back. Because they're predicated upon misunderstanding the world. So it's possible to destroy them forever and not have them come back. There's no place else for them to go. He says, if they're not in the outer world and they're not in your mind, he also goes into the sense powers linked to your mind. He said, well, do the mental afflictions reside in your sense powers? In Buddhism, you have this idea of your sense powers, your eyeballs, and your senses. And your sense powers link your mind to the outer world. So it's saying if it's not in the outer world, it's not in your mind, and it's not in the sense powers which are linking the two, then they don't exist anywhere after they're gone from your mind. So he gets into this big thing. I'm not going to elaborate about it too much. So Master Shantideva says, be happy about it. You can defeat your mental afflictions permanently. So, They feel happy about that. They're not like some other enemy that just keeps coming back after they've been defeated. They don't just retreat and return. When they're defeated, they're done. And then he says, you've reached the end of the war with mental afflictions. So, when we reach the end of the war with mental afflictions, in the text, Master Shantideva goes on to the 6 perfections. These are the 6 activities of Bodhisattva, the 6 main activities of Bodhisattva, and this is what it's like to act like a Bodhisattva. These are the things that a Bodhisattva engages in. Right? So, please say Paro, Tuchimpa, Paramita in Sanskrit, Paramita. Paro means the other side, tu means two, and chimpa means went, gone to the other side, went to the other side. It's translated as a perfection, and there are 6 of them. Why are they called perfections? In 4 minutes we'll do the 6 perfections. One reason is when you're a Buddha that perfected, a Buddha practices them perfectly. And the other reason is that they bring you to perfection. We're not Buddhas yet, right? But they lead us to perfection, which is, please say, Paro to Chinje. Chinje takes you to the other side. They take you to the other side. They bring you to perfection and to Buddhahood. So if you engage in these 6 things, they'll bring you to Buddhahood. Okay. 6 activities of Bodhisattva. And what are they? We say Jimpa. Jimpa is giving. And it could be material objects or teachings or protection. Please say Sutram. Sutram. It means an ethical way of life, keeping your vows. Not committing anything from the 10 non-virtues up to the hundreds of secret vows. So it's restraining oneself from the negativities associated with the vows. Please say Sopa. Sopa. Not getting angry. Also sometimes translated as patience. When circumstances are ripe and your buttons are being pushed and everything is happening to piss you off in the perfect way, you don't get pissed off. It's the perfection of not getting angry. Right? When the time is right. Please say Tsundru. Tsundru. A lot of different translations. Effort, fortitude, joyful effort. Enjoying doing goodness, enjoying good things. It's like, I like helping people. I feel good when I help people. I feel really happy when I do good things in the world. Right? Getting a charge out of it, right? Please say something. This is concentration or meditation. And shut up. Please say shut up. Shut up. Wisdom. Understanding the ultimate nature of things, emptiness, karma. Okay. Karma and emptiness. So these are the 6 perfections, and the next 2 courses, the rest of the guide, is focused upon the 6 perfections. Right? So, I mean, basically we have to learn to become good at these things and masters of these things, and learn to perfect them in our practice, right? I mean, this becomes our spiritual career as a Mahayana practitioner or Bodhisattva practitioner. Learning all the details, right? So then Master Shantideva says, are the perfections mental? Or do they depend on some outer factor? Like to engage in the perfection of giving, does everyone have to have everything they need? If you can't give everyone everything they need, have you perfected giving? You know, if there's still hungry people, and if there's still people without shelter and all the things they want, have you perfected giving? Because people still need things. You can't, obviously, you haven't given everyone everything they need. How can you say you're a perfect giver and you've perfected giving, right? So that's Master Shantideva's question. Your answer is?
Maybe you have.
No.
No, you have.
It doesn't necessarily relate to what everybody else has. It's how you give, right? How you feel about your giving, or how you do your giving.
So that was Master Shantideva's question. Is it a mental thing, or is it about succeeding in making sure everyone has everything that they need to have?
Well, if it was about everybody having everything that they need, and we believe that they're perfected beings, then everybody would have everything that they need already.
Yeah, how could a Buddha be a Buddha? How could a Buddha have perfected giving if everyone doesn't have what they want? Right? So Master Shantideva says, the perfection of giving is not about being rich enough to give everyone money. The perfection of giving is an attitude and a state of mind. I remember Winston and I talking about it many years ago, where he said, I'm trying to practice this perfection of giving thing, and it's just like, you run out of money. So like, how do you do it? And it's, it's like, you can't give money even in a minimal way to everybody you meet on the street who asks. And I said, what's your reflex? When you see this smelly beggar on the street, is your reflex to say no and to pull back? Whereas your reflex and your impulse and your spontaneous habit to say, oh, I'd like to give to them, I wonder if I should. Right? I wonder if it's the wise thing to do, or if I wonder if it's the right thing to do. Right? So, it's as Paul said, it's an attitude, and it's a mindset. We have to check in with ourselves whenever the opportunity arises to engage in any of these things. Is the mental tendency, is the mental habit, is the mental process and heart reflex such that it's like, I want to help that person. I want to protect that person. I want to teach this person about whatever. And if you do, then you're well on the way in the practice of the perfection of giving, to just take one as an example. So it's like that, having the attitude, right? It's a state of mind. So, you can be totally broke and be great at the perfection of giving, right? Not about how much money you have and how much money you give away. If it's not manifesting in our activities, then obviously there's a disconnect. We could walk around saying, oh, I want to give to them, I want to give to them, I want to give to them. Never give to anybody, right? So there's like something wrong there too, right? Has to also manifest tangibly in the way we live and the way we behave, right? According to our means and according to our capacity and all the rest, right? So, if there's anything else I want to make sure we cover. We could go through all the perfections this way. Master Shantideva gives an example. He says, let's say killing, right? If someone around you is getting killed, you say, does that mean you haven't perfected, the ethical way of life hasn't been perfected? No. Right? So you can still perfect the ethical way of life and people could still be killed, right? Because if we were completely ethical, then that wouldn't be happening. Master Shantideva says that you can give away everything at your disposal, and there's still people who don't have things, and you can perfect giving. He said, look, the Buddha, people were getting killed around Shakyamuni Buddha while he was standing there. It doesn't mean he wasn't ethical and he hadn't perfected the ethical way of life, right? Patience, does it mean you didn't practice perfect patience if there's still angry people around and impatient people around? No. There'll still be a lot of angry people around on the day we get enlightened, right? Even if we have perfected patience. So it's not about ending all the angry people in the world. And then he says, if you have the mental attitude where you never get angry again, then you've perfected patience. Yeah.
This is a sutra review, right?
Oh, this is a sutra class.
Just checking.
I did digress for a moment back there, I admit.
Yeah.
But I went back on. I got back on topic. Okay. So anyway, these are the activities which will give us the karmic energy we need to become enlightened in this life. So, our job is to spend our life focused on these perfections and engage in these perfections and practicing them. So, So we have to perfect these attitudes, right? We have to perfect the attitudes of giving, and all the rest. So we'll continue to talk about it and elaborate on it in the next couple of classes. This is class number 8. 3 more to go.
Soji Puki Jishin Metokya Rira Vinshin Yindim Badi Sangye Shindu Mitedu Agi Drogun Namda Shinla Jupasho Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niyatayami Gawadi Gawokun Sunam Yashe Toksokshin Sunam Yashe Legend Way Rampa Kunito Parsho.
Please see the holy being at your crown return to your heart, blessing your mind stream again. By the power of the goodness of what we've done here this evening, may every being everywhere be free of every mental affliction. May we experience everything as complete and ultimate purity for all time, ending all suffering everywhere.
Thank you for teaching.
Thank you. I forgot to make an announcement. April 14th, Saturday, 6 p.m. Tashi Geshe Tashi Dorje is teaching the 37 practices of Bodhisattva here. It's from the 8 verses of mind training, a Lojong text. So please come if you can.